What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today, watching another video about CallMeARJ. Goku must surpass Ultra Vegito and Vegeta. Okay, with Goku. Okay, he's still training with Frieza, right? So hopefully I'm still in order, and I'm ready to get into it, man. You know, 46-minute video. Make sure I get some snacks, something to drink on, some water, something like that, and we gotta get into it, man. Let's go.
So our story continues with a view of a battle-scarred Vegito with half his armor now broken, clearly having been training with the 4 Saiyans he let out for years now, as he would stand silently on the battlefield, scratched up, but seemingly alone. Alone, of course, until a familiar black foot lands on the ground behind him. I thought I could smell you here. I'm surprised there aren't any banana skins around. And when we finally see the face of the creature, it would of course be revealed to be Black Frieza. Serious as ever, aged even, as he too appears battle-ravaged from the countless years of training. As he would continue, "I'm done now with your game, monkey. You will battle me now." As suddenly it would be shown that Black Frieza would be holding in his hand, like a paper bag, the near lifeless body of the mini Vegito. Beaten and unconscious, back in base form, and not uttering a word, as Frieza would say, "But first, I believe I have something of yours. Reassimilate with him in some way, as I am not interested in fighting a half-baked Saiyan. Give me your full power." Before looking down at his victim and adding, "But this was some challenge to say the least. He's no Togoma or Ginyu, I'll tell you that. I don't know just how much of your power you imbued within him, but I certainly got a taste of all your abilities and forms. Seems you monkeys can do a lot more than dye your hair blonde and blue now. But you can have him back now." As Black Frieza would then suddenly toss the defenseless child godkiller straight forward to Vegito, slamming the mini Vegito onto his front, as the child would remain completely silent without a drop more of energy left.
Damn.
And the taller Vegito, observing this, would only then look back at Frieza and say impressed, "It's about time. How long's it been now? A year or 2? In all honesty, you're progressing even faster than I thought you would. To think you'd reach within a quarter of my power so quickly. It's good, but just remember, my power level has increased in these 2 years also." And I'm afraid that just means the gap between us has gotten even larger. And there's still a ways to go before you give me any problem. And so unfortunately, you have 2 more guests to contend with before we ever battle again.
Oh shit.
Boys! And as the Godkiller would call out, as if bringing in his
Vegeta
own
and Goku.
sons, 2 familiar feet would then step onto the ground in the distance. And standing there, of course, would be both Goku and Vegeta, one with a smiley happy-go-lucky face, and the other with a positively staunch but disinterested look. As Goku would then quickly wave to his old foe and say, "Yo, Frieza! Wow, you look different. Way stronger too. I knew it was a good idea to keep you around. How have you been?" But a disgruntled with the trivial tease
come on, Vegeta.
would interrupt. "Enough, Kakarot! He isn't our friend. Just another tool for our ultimate revenge. So treat him like one." "Huh? too? But of course, for Frieza,
They back.
the sight
They
of the two would be
back.
nothing short of shell-shocking. As turning quickly with surprise, he would yell, "What is this now? Are you two monkeys not supposed to be fused? How many more of these silly games must I play?" Games? But standing tall with his fists on his hips, Vegito would just say, "You've just spent the last few years just barely being able to defeat a miniature version of myself I created from just my damn spit. And yet, you question now how I can produce another Kakarot and Vegeta too? Get a grip. This is no game. These are the embodiments of my power. And if you truly want to stop being a weakling, then you'll get through them first." This damn Saiyan! But these constant words of put down would leave the battle-tired furious Frieza replying with a scowl. "You will regret every word you have uttered once I'm done with these fools. But I have only just finished with your first game. Can I at least be afforded some rest before this?" Ha! No way, Frieza! We've been training non-stop this whole time too.
Well, damn.
But as Frieza would plead, the battle-thirsty typical Goku would immediately get into fighting stance, smiling as he interjects, "I haven't fought you in years. This will be a trip down memory lane. Bring it on, Frieza!" "Not on my watch." "What?" But as Goku would ready himself, quickly, it would be the prince that pushes himself forward brazenly, now smirking as he adds, "You've fought this clown way too many times already. It's my turn now."
I mean, you fought him the same amount of
But as
times.
disapproving Goku would just fight back saying,
You
"No
just lost."
fair, Vegeta! I asked first! Please, just this one time and you can after!" But now not entertaining the childish chatter, Vegeta would just
Am
respond,
I tripping? Yeah, they fought the same amount of times.
"Forget it, Kakarot! I wanted to spare your feelings, as you once did for me. But the truth is, the point of this training is to increase this freak's power, and in turn, let him finally give Vegito the challenge he needs to grow. A challenge neither of us can supply. Frieza is already at a quarter of his power in just 2 years, and I, with my new form, am at least half as strong. But you..." Before turning back to Goku and continuing with an ominous smile, "But you have yet to go beyond even 10%.
Oh, damn.
Stuck in that same pathetic ultra form we had since practically the beginning. Black, Yamoshi, myself, we have all found ways to improve. Yet you are the only one that is yet to improve despite all the battling you do. Why is that, Kakarot?
You on your ass.
You wondered once how I could keep up and beat you without doing the same non-stop training. The answer is simple. It is because you are the only one who simply cannot tap into the true power within here. The power of the demon. The power of the demons? This revelation instantly causing our hero to step back in shock as he suddenly begins to fit pieces together.
The powers of the
Stand
demons.
still. I have to tap into the power of the demons,
Yeah.
like you and Vegito. Why? Why can't I? Before Vegeta would suddenly then transform into his true demon form, walking towards Frieza as he would say, "This is the same dilemma I had when you first unlocked Ultra Instinct. while I could not. And now here you are, stuck and having to find your own path to power. Enjoy, Kakarot. Before with a demon growl and grin, looking straight back at Black Frieza and continuing, because I am certainly going to enjoy pulverizing this cockroach till he's black and blue. Time for some long overdue payback for the past, Frieza. Vegeta! With not only these words paralyzing Frieza with fear, but also the sudden change in appearance as he yells, "Those horns! Don't tell me! You too!" Yes, Frieza! I too will now beat you into oblivion! Shocking Frieza as he can barely move as Vegeta's instantaneous speed causes him to be in reaching distance already, with his hands gripped together until... Yeah! Vegeta! Instantly, with literally half a century worth of backlogged, held in anger, Demon Vegeta slams his hands straight into the face of the former Emperor, sending his head snapping to the side in terror of having to face yet another step up in opponent. And immediately, the two then switch to a full-on skirmish, trading blows left and right, but of course, with only the Prince with the upper hand. All this creating shockwaves and smoke all around, while Goku would just watch on completely left out, and Vegito would watch on observing Frieza's progress. But with the two now alone as the rest battle, Goku with a serious look, unlike his usual cheerful self, would now stare at Vegito, asking solemnly, "Vegito, tell me the truth. Is what Vegeta said true? Am I never really going to get any stronger here? I don't find a way to use the power of the demons. Use the power of evil." Twitch the smirky Vegito, with his arms folded and without a shred of empathy, would then reply, "It is, Kakarot. As you are now, you will never be able to surpass your limits the way Vegeta has. But I think you already knew that."
You did.
And now looking down with a defeated expression, Goku would be left in an uncharacteristic silence, as for the first time, he begins to feel the same futility Vegeta had endured for so long. But as he would sulk, the God Killer would slowly begin approaching, as the battle continues to rage behind him, eventually reaching a stop face to face with Goku before changing his smirk to one more sincere. He would begin explaining, "Listen to me, Kakarot. There's no two ways about it. I am both you and Vegeta. But you know yourself, for the longest while,
right,
I think you can tell, I have taken far more after him. At least, the old him.
Vegito.
Since the time you first met him, his darkness has always remained. Darkness like that is not something that ever goes away. He showed it many years later when you fought him again, and it has inevitably shown itself now too. And for good reason, when we all know what was done to us." Before then adding, addressing Goku himself, "You on the other hand have never been that way. You have the same rage inside of you as we all do for these gods, but you lack the same darkness to take their punishment to the limit. You would be happy to just defeat those that harmed our loved ones, while Vegeta and I will not settle for anything less than complete annihilation.
I fucks with it.
The truth is, You could never access the same powers as Vegeta and I, even if you trained for the next 1,000 years. Before suddenly a smile would then appear on Vegito's face again, as he would then say, "But listen well when I say, that doesn't mean that's the only way to get stronger." Huh? As now grabbing Goku by the shoulder, the God Killer would reveal, "As I said, both you and Vegeta are what make up my power. The stronger you two get, the stronger I will as well. Yet I don't worry at all about you not having the same dark heart. Vegeta can access the demon transformations as much as his heart desires. But for every powerful force, there is an equal opposite. He may wield the power of the demons, but do not forget, Kakarot, I have the power of 13 different angels within me too. Find your own route to power, Kakarot. Find a way to surpass Vegeta."
Oh, okay.
The angels! Immediately lighting up Goku's face as he suddenly begins to remember, saying, "Of course, Whis, Mirrors. I've been in here so long, I started to forget what I was training for before all this.
Yeah.
I don't need the power of demons at all, do I? I have my own path." Before looking at Vegito now with a relaxed smile again finally, and saying, I think I understand now, Vegito.
I understand it now.
Thanks. You know, you're a lot better at explaining things than I would be. I guess that's Vegeta's side coming through once again. To which Vegito would reply back with a smile. "No, actually that was mainly you. Don't give that twerp too much credit." You got it. I'll be back soon. And with that, Goku would shoot off into the infinite sky of the pyramid, opting to train by himself and one day return with his newfound abilities. And looking up from below, like a proud father, the God Killer would just let out, "Kakarot, you've never let anyone down before, and I know you won't now. I'm not letting this damn elusive fellow take over me for the sake of power. Bring me back something far better."
Oh.
But as their training would recommence on the inside of the pyramid, on the outside, we would rejoin Hit and the Makoto-possessed Jiren, the silent assassin with his hands in his pockets as his horned foe stands ahead facing him. But now having heard the warrior ask him surprisingly who he is, the purple hitman would reply, "Who am I, you ask? Interesting. I am Hit of Universe 6. We fought in the Tournament of Power. Do you not remember, Jiren?" Tournament of Power? But with an uncharacteristic smirk, Jiren would reply, "I do think I have actually heard of such a thing before. A tournament organized by Zeno in an attempt to cleanse the multiverse of the most useless of mortals. If I remember correctly, only the strongest of each supposed universe was selected to enter. That must mean you are no ordinary fighter. Am I right? In that case, you shall be a fine test for my new powers. Tell me, Hit, how exactly did the result of our last battle go?" But foregoing the continued conversation,
Hey, Hit, you
would
should leave.
immediately take on an offensive stance in response, saying instead, "Judging by the way you're talking, you are either suffering from severe dementia, or you are no longer the Jiren I know. Most likely a body snatcher that has even less of a right to be here interfering. Not that it matters. All I know is only I will be here to greet the so-called God Killer. And as for your earlier question, the result will be different this time.
I don't know about that hit.
With impressive
Unless she got hurt, unless she got stronger.
Hit would then move straight forward towards Jiren. A lively one, I see. While Makoto would just give a disheartening smile.
Oh, Makoto
But
took
as
his body,
Hit's deadly blow would land directly on the chest of Jiren, attempting to burst the heart of the Pride Trooper, the impact would land with a dull thud, as not even a vibration of movement is made by Makoto. What? Did I miss? Leading to a blindsided Hit, yelling out in disbelief, as he can only think to blame his own mistakes rather than the supposed difference in Jiren's abilities. And just like that, unwilling to accept the situation, Hit would then begin using his signature fighting style once more, effortlessly striking Jiren multiple times in the span of seconds, each one blasting a purple light beam through the body of Jiren as if penetrating him. But all the while, Jiren would just continue to smile, looking down, waiting for Hit to do something even remotely damaging before... I grow bored of this. His expression would then suddenly change
bored already, damn.
as he adds condescendingly, "This is what passed to enter that tournament. It's no wonder that God Killer's universe won then. Pathetic." Before unbelievably in a brutal scene, with just one
Now my
swipe,
nigga Hit.
Makoto would make short work of Hit, decapitating him there and then as his blood shoots out of his neck like a volcano, and Hit's lifeless head just silently moves towards us until finally landing on the ground with a roll. The end of the greatest assassin is as swift as his usual contracts. And almost annoyed of the lack of challenge, Makoto would just turn his back as Hit's headless body would continue to erupt, stepping forward closer to the pyramid where Vegito resides before saying, "Well, that was hardly a test. How surprising. The fellow looked more powerful than that, but I guess it just means I have all the more energy to use to destroy the God Killer. Not before you are finished with me, Jiren." But just as Makoto would begin approaching the pyramid, a mysterious voice would call from the side of Jiren.
What the hell?
But who could it be this time? As Jiren would then turn his head slowly and comment,
I don't know who it is.
"Another pitiful mortal to slaughter? Truly, you're like insects." But once Jiren would eventually turn fully, nothing but shock would cover his face, as he finally notices exactly who could be standing before him. You! As inexplicably, Hit
the
would
hell?
be seen once more, full of health, with his hands in his pockets, and most importantly, with his head still on his shoulders.
Oh.
Leading to Makoto quickly turning his head back to wonder if he had been mistaken. What the? How can this be? But only for behind him to still be the lifeless and still leaking with blood decapitated body of Hit that he just murdered in cold blood. And now, triggered by his confusion, he would angrily inquire, "What is the meaning of this? I killed you. Were there two of you all along? No. Your energy signature is exactly the same." To which a cool, calm, and collected Hit would reply, "Well, of course. I am Hit of Universe 6, just as I told you. And you did kill me.
Oh, okay.
Just a version of me from another timeline."
Oh.
Nonsense! But instantly catching Hit by surprise, not wanting to hear another word, Makoto would blast out a point-blank fiery blast, evaporating the assassin on the spot. And you just did it again. Seems whoever has taken over your body is a little too trigger-happy, Jiren. As yet again though, despite there being no more trace of Hit in front of him, to the side, the same cool as ever voice would call out to him. And standing once more would be yet another Hit, who would say, "You should really let an opponent finish their sentence. The more information you know, the more advantageous the situation for you."
Alright, let him
Not
talk.
even listening now, Jiren would just continue to blurt out, This cannot be! How? How are you doing this? I have no time for such trickery!" As the fourth, in his confusion, would then just evolve into complete anger as he clenches his fist and then screams over to Hit. To which Hit, still not worried in the slightest, would just lift his time rings up as it mysteriously for the first time begins to glow and says, "This is no trickery, old friend. This is just the true power of the time ring. When wielded by the ultimate time skip user. Every time you kill me,
He hacked.
I will skip death entirely and return again to finish the job. I am now the immortal assassin." Enough! But now losing it and completely triggered, Makoto would scream back, "Finish with your boastfulness! A mere time ring of the lowly Kais will never be capable of such things!"
Well, damn.
What? Instantly then doing away with Hit's surely false explanations, blasting out his eyes lasers, Superman style, straight through the body of Hit. Immediately slicing the assassin in half, murdering him once more, as his bloody torso slams to the ground, lifeless with blank eyes. But just as the body would fall, almost as if synchronized, a hand would land on Makoto's shoulder. "Relax, will you? Those clones may not be my timelines, but you're still murdering innocents." What? And perhaps at this point, not a shock to us, but Hit would appear right behind him yet again.
Damn, Hit.
Looking at him disapproving of his constant outbursts, saying, "That will be enough of that. I'm afraid those lowly time rings you speak of can do even more than just this. Welcome to my time domain." As suddenly, Jiren would now find himself in a completely different and new area. One that looks suspiciously like the dimension Hit momentarily exists in when using his time skip, full of multicolored, broken shards of what looks like glass. Where the hell am I? And of course, with Makoto completely unaware of what is happening, he would immediately begin turning from side to side erratically in an attempt to figure out where he has just been transported to and exactly how. Are you not listening at all or what? Now I definitely know you are no Jiren.
Oh,
You are in my infinite time loop. My time domain.
that time the main
What?
hit.
As out of nowhere, Hit would appear once more, as if out of thin air, placing his hand on Jiren's skull as if he was a child, with
You
his
fucking with
time
that
ring
nigga.
still mysteriously glowing. But Makoto would not allow this for long, swiping his elbow behind, but some way, somehow, Hit would no longer be there. Not even vanishing, just completely gone, as if he wasn't there to begin with. How? Suddenly, his speed is beyond mine? Impossible! Where the hell could he?
He hitting him with that hit.
But this
Oh,
wonderment
he did
would be
damage.
short-lived, as suddenly it would appear, slamming his hand into the gut of Jiren. But this time, there would be far more of a reaction,
I ain't
as
biting my nails,
Jiren's
guys.
entire body would vibrate from the impact, and blood would shoot out from his mouth.
they got hit going.
Sending himself
Okay.
skidding far across the floor by just the heels of his feet.
I'm just curious.
And most surprised by all of this would of course be Jiren, who gripping his wounded gut would then grumble, "How? Why? Why did that attack suddenly feel so strong? It was just like the others, but that one could have ripped me in half. This can't be. I am hundreds of times stronger than you, mortal!" Leaving the angered god to now scream with one eye open as he struggles to comprehend how he could even be injured.
I don't know.
But Hit, as if having not even broken a sweat with that strike, would just casually begin walking towards Jiren without fear, despite his several brutal deaths already, saying, "Yes, Jiren, you are hundreds of times stronger than myself on the outside, but inside here, under the power of my time domain, with this ring, I can just attack you hundreds of times instantly. I don't need to increase my power when I can just have multiple versions of myself to compensate."
This nigga Barry Allen.
Multiple versions? But this explanation hardly satisfies Jiren, as he stares completely unwilling to believe and mutters, "Those rings, they are doing all this?
Yep.
That simply cannot be. What is the drawback then?" But once more, Hit as if doing this on purpose, laying with his food, would then strike Jiren from the side once again, but this time via a beam of air pressure, sending Jiren into a roll across the ground, while afar another clone of Hit would be seen. But credit to Jiren's robust build, it doesn't take long for him to already be on his knees, albeit just barely.
Oh shit.
His teeth gritted, however, now, as a demonic tone begins to be heard, and he lets out, "I don't know where you've taken me, but clearly I've been weakened. I will not accept any other false explanations from you, charlatan." But before embracing a prematurely confident smirk, he would then say, "But I can tell one thing. My speed seems to be just fine. And that is all I need to annihilate a worm like you." As suddenly, Jiren would vanish from the spot, instantly erasing his energy signature until... Die 1,000 deaths! Suddenly then appearing right in Hit's blind spot with fury, mid-velocity, with his arms cocked back all ready to strike. But nonchalantly, Hit would just turn his head around with the most slothful of turns.
Damn, okay.
Almost as if he was inviting yet another death. Get me out of here! What?
Damn, he hitting. Oh, come on, Hit.
Unbelievably, as Hit would turn into Jiren, and Jiren would strike, the entire body of the Pride Trooper would seemingly just phase through Hit, as if he were nothing but a ghost, his arms leading him to the ground. As now, more perplexed than anything, he would mutter, "My hand! It went through him! What has he done? Who is this?" To which Hit, watching on as Jiren would move through, would then reply, "I am your executioner for today. And just like I duplicate myself to match your strength, I too can dwarf your speed too.
Oh.
Even skip having to move out of the way entirely. In my time domain, I cannot be defeated, and I cannot die.
Oh, Vegeta gave
I
him a
can
ring, didn't he?
skip death itself.
Or he stole one from Vegeta.
Jiren.
Something like that. I forgot about that.
Give up. You
I was wondering,
lost
like, how
the
you get a
minute
ring?
You gaze into this lowly time ring of mine.
So many fucking stories.
Before quickly, just as Jiren would phase completely through, the assassin would materialize and slam a kick straight into the gut of Jiren once more. The attack being so hard and vicious, Jiren's arms and legs flail forward like a ragdoll, sending the possessed warrior spinning to an ultimate crash on the ground, face first.
Boy, still look
But
good.
showing
Boy,
his
still do look good.
endurance once more, the fourth would manage to quickly spring up and punch the ground to stop himself moving any further.
That nigga
But
fucking
with
you
his
up.
eyes closed, Makoto would show that he still needs some time to recover. Just mumbling, When did the time rings possess such abilities? Surely, it cannot be as he says. But as he would eventually begin opening his eyes once more, nothing would be able to prepare him for what he would eventually see. What is this? As his whole face would open, unable
Jiren
to
just trolling him.
comprehend just what lies before him. No!
Damn.
As suddenly, standing in front would be an entire army of Hit, each as emotionless as the last, staring at their prey before their eventual pounce. As what can only be assumed is the original Hit would then let out coldly. It is exactly as I say, Jiren. Right here are 200 real versions of me from 200 different timelines, each
Damn.
split by less than a nanosecond. This is what you are up against, and this is only a fraction of what I can do in here. Are you ready, warrior?
I love it.
Free you from your invader, Jiren! as suddenly all 200 plus of the purple assassins would raise their elbows high from afar with force, powering concentrated energy. What? Wait! Stop this at once! And even Makoto, knowing the force he felt earlier, would immediately panic, knowing his demise was soon, screaming out as his entire stature quakes in fear. And for good
Okay,
reason,
hit.
as
Hit
once
him,
each
duh,
of the
I
hits
love it.
launch an instantaneous flow of concentrated pressure straight at Jiren, he would be barraged by a truly excruciating explosion of assaults, all striking at exactly the same time. And the possessed Jiren would release a blood-curdling scream in response, as his body becomes paralyzed in pain, eventually. What is this? Finally, within Jiren, the first appearance of Makoto would be seen, in his blood demon form, screaming out in unison with Jiren, as he begins to wonder in his final moments, "My life force, it is fading. This is the kind of power the God Killer defeated? How? He said I lost the minute I saw that time ring. That time ring?" As suddenly, almost as if having died within Jiren himself, the eye of Jiren would suddenly revert back to its original self. But as that would happen within the so-called time domain, back on the outside, where the pyramid is, a completely different scene is shown. Jiren is not being attacked, his body isn't any more damaged or bloody than before, and he is not even making a sound as he stares blankly forward. Could this all have been just an illusion? As standing in front in the wind, looking back, would not be hundreds of hits, or even one attacking, but the singular original assassin with his arms down saying, "It is sad to see you like this, old friend. I wonder how you let yourself be overcome. But rest assured, whatever is inside you will not survive now that you are locked in my time domain. I will release you when I am finished with Son Goku." But unbeknownst to Hit, as he turns his back to walk over to the pyramid, from Jiren's side, a blood-red liquid seems to shoot out from his skin, splodging onto the floor before... Suddenly, in an injection of speed, would then rush straight forward for Hit. So fast, only at the last second would the assassin finally notice before... Hit! Stop this! Watch out, warrior! Jiren, is that you? Suddenly, back in the dimension of Hit's time ring, it would appear as the real Jiren, even through the pain, would attempt to warn Hit. But in the end...
It's too late.
Back on the outside, the blood splodge would expand within an instant, creating a fleshy tail reminiscent
he
of
about to have a
Makoto
time ring too.
that would immediately stab through the chest and armor of the assassin. What is this? Leaving Hit frozen, as not only is he taken by complete surprise, but he quickly feels his body begin to lose control. Hello, new vessel. Allow me to introduce your new host. As within the fleshy tail, the sickening demonic face of Makoto would finally be revealed. Now Vegito and Frieza, seemingly will have two possessed former friends now waiting to kill them. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag #RipHit in the comments down below. Let me know just what will happen now with Goku and Hit.
Yeah, my nigga Hit cooked. Hit is cooked. Yeah, he was cooking though. He was cooking that little, you know, the Jiren and them, but hey, it is what it is. Shout out to CallMeARJ for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last one right here. Check out another video you might like right here. And I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.